Most people don't have relationship problems, they have value problems. And after this video, you'll never look at relationships the same. And you'll understand why certain relationships drain you and others feel safe. And I'm going to teach you how to actually build relationships, romantic or platonic, that actually last without abandoning yourself, without overgiving, without oversharing, without feeling like you need to perform. Hi babes, if you're new here, I'm Alexis Alize and I am all things feminine energy, beauty, and just self-development, everything to help you become your best self. So if you're into content like that, make sure to give this video a like and make sure you subscribe. I would love to have you in this community, sister. Happy Valentine's Day, girl. As you see, I am in the Valentine's Day spirit, so it's only right that I do this special edition Valentine's Day video of 6 core values that actually help you create healthy relationships. And this is in general, Miss Girl, whether you are trying to build healthy relationships with your friends in a platonic way or with a lover in a romantic way. And I got my tea. Tonight I have green tea and peppermint and a little bit of lemon in here. Okay, first and foremost, I need you to understand that healthy relationships are not built on chemistry, vibes, and just love alone. I know when you first start talking to somebody and they check all your boxes and you feel that little spark, you're like, oh my gosh, yes. And that's great, Miss Girl, but I want you to understand that healthy relationships are built on shared values and emotional maturity. And I had to learn this the hard way. Like, I used to be one of those girls who used to fall in love in a couple days, all because you look good, you smell good, and you check a couple of my boxes. But honestly, that's not enough. And I mean that even for my friends. Love without values in the beginning, it feels intense, but honestly, it doesn't feel safe. This video is specifically for my girls who are tired of falling in the same pattern with emotionally unavailable men, with maybe friends, and it just feels like they aren't building deep, healthy connections in their life. This is for my girls who want to break free from that pattern, who have truly been doing the healing work to become their best self, and who are truly ready for grown, stable, and emotionally safe connections. Core value number 1 is emotional responsibility. And this one hit me in the face, okay? I remember a guy telling me one time, like, you know, I liked him, he liked me, we were dating for a couple months and things did feel great. And I remember like we kind of like just like stopped talking. This was about like 4 years ago. We kind of like stopped talking and then we end up reconnecting a couple months later and I was like, I don't know what happened. Like the vibe was there. He was like, yes, the vibe was there. But honestly, I felt like you always needed me to regulate your nervous system for you. Whoa, that was a hard pill to swallow. And it's so crazy because when I look back, it's so true. But at the time I was just thinking like, you know, he's this man that I'm talking to. I'm just gonna come to him with all my problems. Anytime I'm stressed out, I call him. I'm like, oh my God, babe, guess what happened? And I mean, of course, yes, we want a partner that's reliable, that we can like call on like that. But at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to regulate your own emotions, Miss Girl. You have to seriously start taking accountability and start owning your triggers. Like, you know what? I did let that trigger me and I did react. Start owning your reactions. Even start owning your wounds. Like maybe you reacted a certain way over an old wound that's not healed, okay? We need to start taking responsibility. Yes, ma'am. And regulating our own nervous system and becoming more emotionally intelligent. And all of that comes with doing the inner work. If you're not new here, then you always know that I'm always talking about doing the inner work because your world and what you see in your world is reflecting what's going on in here, okay? And as a woman, God made us to be emotional creatures, and that's not a bad thing at all. We just need to be able to regulate our own nervous system and check in with our own emotions. And we don't always have to explain our emotions or react or give somebody a whole paragraph of how we're feeling and why we're feeling and this, that, and the third. I promise you, when you learn how to self-soothe, it will solve a lot of your problems, okay? And self-soothing can happen in so many different ways. It could be you in the mirror, just talking to yourself, calming yourself down. It could be journaling. It could be going for a walk. It could be taking a nap. It could be doing your skincare. It can be dancing, yoga, any of that. But knowing when to self-soothe and when to communicate is very, very important. Nobody is saying like, don't feel your emotions and shove them all down. Like, no, there's a time and place for everything, okay? There is a time to communicate your emotions and your feelings, and there's also a time to self-soothe, especially over a trigger, a wound, or something that has to do with you more than the other person. And somebody who is emotionally responsible, you can even tell by the way that they talk and communicate their feelings with you. They'll say stuff like, I'm upset, rather than you made me upset or you did this. It's more so expressing how they feel. And somebody who's quite not emotionally responsible, they're the person that's going to give you the cold shoulder. They're going to give you the silent treatment, okay? They're going to be passive aggressive because they don't know how to communicate their emotions properly. And that right there is a red flag. Or if they're trying to express their emotions and they're emotionally dumping just all their feelings, just like a can of worms, and they're just going and spiraling and pouring out everything, there's a lot behind that, okay? That seems like it's a lot of baggage. And honestly, that's maybe from you or the other person, from that person in general, just holding on to things and not communicating when they're supposed to, not self-soothing when they're supposed to. And now all these emotions built up, and now they have this outlet or this time to express themselves. And it's like all these emotions are just running out. That's another sign that somebody is not emotionally responsible. People who are healed really understand the importance of nervous system regulation, and they regulate their own emotions. They don't outsource their emotional regulation. They're not out here looking for somebody to validate their feelings, to be like, yeah, you're right, to say, no, it's gonna be okay, to help them feel better. Okay, core value number 2 is safety over chemistry. When people talk about love or vibing with somebody, they talk about the vibes, the energy, the sparks, the chaos, the hot and cold energy. I used to always hear people say that like, oh, I love a little relationship that's like a little bit toxic, like a little bit toxic is healthy. No, it's not. And so many people say that they are looking for healthy relationships and they want somebody to come healed, all this other good stuff, right? And then they meet somebody who is healed, who comes healthy, and they're like, oh my gosh, she checks all my boxes, or oh my gosh, she checks all my boxes. This is amazing, but she's boring. She's boring. I need a little toxicity in my life. I need a little spaz. I need a little, and most of the time, I mean, like sometimes that might be true. Maybe the person really is boring, but 90% of the time, it's not that the person is boring. It's that you're used to stress, okay? Your body is used to being stressed out. So your body has become addicted to stress. So if nothing is stressing you out, your body immediately feels unsafe. Like your body immediately feels uncomfortable. You're like, I don't know if I really like it here. Like, I don't trust this environment. It might be too good to be true. Or maybe he or she is hiding a whole nother version of them. Or you start thinking of the craziest things. You start trying to put 2 and 2 together. You start trying to look for stuff. You start trying to look for red flags, and you self-sabotage, all because your body is addicted to stress and you're not used to something that feels healthy. So before you even go look for any healthy relationships out here mingling, or even out here looking for new friends, make sure that you come healed first, okay? Make sure you come healed, make sure your nervous system is regulated, and make sure that your heart is open to things that you may not be used to yet. Being in a safe relationship doesn't mean boring at all, okay? I've had some relationships that have been completely safe, 100% safe, and like so safe that I can be my softest, most beautiful, most feminine self, and they also excite me. They also just turn me up a notch, So definitely don't think that safety means boring, when honestly, safety means consistency. It means clarity, and it means emotional availability. When you're around somebody that's healthy and you are truly vibing with them and truly building a relationship, whether this is a friendship or something romantic, your body should feel safe. You should not have anxiety. Your nervous system should feel calm, not addicted. And when you leave this person, you shouldn't feel drained. You should feel on fire. You should have a little spark inside of you. You should feel great, fabulous, loving, joyous. And what this safety looks like, even in a relationship with your friends, is you should be honest without fear, without the fear of them judging you, without the fear of them saying something, that's going to upset you or anything like that. You should be able to be honest. And in romantic relationships, this safety looks like you knowing exactly where you stand without guessing, even if it's just in the beginning stages, okay? You're not having constant anxiety about, oh my gosh, are we becoming a thing? Is he interested in me? Is he not interested in me? Is he talking to somebody else? Are we exclusive? Are we not exclusive? Does he like when I wear this? Does he like when my hair is like this? Like, once you start having all of those thoughts and all of that anxiety is spiraling up, most of the time it's because that man does not make you feel safe, okay? Because when you feel safe, you're not spiraling like that, okay? You're not having all this anxiety. You feel calm. You feel like, oh my gosh, I can truly be myself around this person. I love that. And that right there is a core value that I do not take for granted, okay? Being able to feel safe enough to be yourself so you don't feel like you have to perform. And again, this is the same for friendships, okay? I want to be around my friends that actually love me and genuinely support me, where I can be myself, I can show up messy and they still love me. I can show up, my best, I can show up at my worst, and I don't have to second guess their friendship. I don't always have to put on a mask and perform for them either. When you get around these people, again, rather romantic or platonic, these friends or these lovers, and your nervous system is always on edge, that's a sign right there, okay? That's not passion, baby, that's survival. That's your body fighting to survive this relationship. That's your body in fight or flight mode. The third core value is integrity when no one is watching. And honestly, I really love this one because, especially in friendships, people forget to be friends. People forget to show up for their friends. Like, even if they're in a relationship and you said that you were going to go out with your friend for lunch, on Sunday, but then maybe your boo pops up last minute and is like, hey, babe, I want to take you out, or hey, let's just sit in the house and chill, or whatever's going on. Don't cancel on your friend, okay? If that's your real friend, that's also another relationship. That's another bond. That's another connection that you should be cherishing, okay? You should be pouring into just as much. I've always said that I show my friends just as much love and affection as I do my romantic partners, because I value all types of relationships in my life, okay? Business relationships, platonic relationships like my homegirls, romantic, whatever. It's still a relationship that you need to show up for and put effort in. So no, don't cancel on your homegirl all because your boo made plans at the last minute. No, that relationship is still important. Her time is still important, okay? Show her the same respect that you would want her to show you. So yeah, sorry babe, I've already had plans with my homegirl. So yeah, follow through. I think people really forget these days that friendships also require putting in effort, especially if you want to have strong, beautiful, healthy relationships. And I literally want to have beautiful bonds, like not just a girl, like she's pretty, I'm pretty, oh, let's be friends. Like, no, I want to have deep connections with my friends that's going to carry on with us years to come. And even though I've always felt like I've been very intentional with my friendships, I still had to do better in this department, because I'm the friend that responds in 3 to 5 business days. You can call me and I will text you next week and be like, hey babe, you call me, just because I always felt like I get caught up, and some of my friends, they're not moms. So I would get caught up being a mom, being a business owner, working, cleaning the house, doing so much, trying to stay on my healthy journey, trying to date and still, do everything else. And I would just always like not text back, or just like, you won't hear from me for a couple weeks. And at first I used to be like, you know what? I cherish those friends who know me and be like, you know what? I know she didn't respond, I'll hear from her when I hear from her. And I got so used to my friends who are like my real, like my girls. I've gotten so used to them, accepting that from me. So I went out here to create new friends and meet new people, and I was doing this. That was the big no-no. And some of my friends were actually voicing that to me, like, girl, like you just be disappearing. I don't know what's that about. And I just be like, oh girl, I just get busy. But honestly, no, I had to check myself. Like, no, at my big age, no. It takes 2 minutes to sometimes less than 2 minutes to reply to somebody. If I see the message, reply in that moment, or like soon, like within, you know what I mean? When I have time, just go ahead and reply right then and there. If they call me and I can't answer, go ahead and send them a text and say that I call them back, and make sure that I actually call them back. Like, that right there is being a good friend, and also respecting your friend's time, feelings, all of that. And that was kind of crazy of me to want everybody to just be okay with me not calling them back, not texting them back until next week. And honestly, again, I had to take accountability and be like, you know what? You're absolutely right, and I will do better. And I can honestly say that I have done better. Even like one of my homegirls was like, okay, I've seen that you've been doing better. I'm so proud of you. Like, yes, like I've been answering most of her calls, and when I don't, I text her. And yeah, because sometimes I get so caught up in my own world that I'm like, nothing else matters but what I got going on. And honestly, it should not be like that, especially when you are building high value relationships. So definitely make sure you are having integrity when it comes to your friendships, and you are following through. And of course with romantic as well, but I just really wanted to emphasize this part for friendship, because when you're dating a guy, sometimes it's easy to make sure you follow through with him, but it's harder for you to follow up with your homegirls. Yeah, like I said, we need to be intentional about our friendships as well. Like, I want to be the best friend that I can be to my girls, okay? Like, when they think about me, I just want them to get warm inside, and I want to show up for them in any way that I honestly can, because love is love, and there's no way that I'm telling you that I love you as a friend and I'm not displaying love properly to you. I'm not showing up. I'm not following through. No, I'm not respecting you. No, I'm not doing that. Like, no, if I love you, I love you. And if I call you my friend, then you are my friend. And that's exactly how I want to show up for you. I want to show up like a friend who loves you and respects you. And you have to understand, no matter if this is in a romantic relationship or a platonic relationship, trust isn't built through words, it's built through patterns. Core value number 4 is respect for boundaries. Yes, even your emotional boundaries. And let me tell you something, boundaries does not mean rejection, okay? Boundaries keep you grounded and protected. When you and your friend or you and your lover have boundaries, that protects your connection because you're making sure you're not overgiving, or you're not putting too much on your plate, or you're not spreading yourself thin or anything like that, okay? Having boundaries actually helps you show up as your best possible self. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm sitting here like, what is that noise? That is my hatch alarm going off, trying to tell me it's time for bed. Let me go turn that off. I'll be right back. Okay, cause what? Me and my girls, we be all night. Okay, so now, where was I? Yeah, so boundaries. Boundaries protect your connection, but they also create longevity in these relationships, okay? Because you're not spreading yourself out too thin. Because you have boundaries in place, you and the other person, you guys aren't overstepping each other's boundaries. So there's no disrespect and there's no resentment being built up. And you guys can have a long, loving relationship because you guys both have boundaries in place and because you guys are protecting you guys' connection. Having these boundaries in place is going to make sure that you're not over explaining yourself, that you're not trauma dumping, therefore trauma binding with somebody, or you're not expecting access, or you're not expecting things just because you guys are close. You guys are actually building a bond and a connection and a friendship based off of values and what you truly see in each other. People who don't respect your boundaries, what that's going to look like is maybe friends who get upset when you say no, like you can't do something or you're not available. A real friend who values you isn't going to be upset when you say no or you can't make it to an event. Also, romantically, a person who truly values you isn't going to push you past your emotional or your physical limits. You girls know how I'm always talking about how important boundaries are, but I really want you to know that they're important in all relationships in your life, in your work relationships, even in your family. And if you're not used to having boundaries, but you are now becoming the woman of your dreams, which I know you are because you're watching this video, then best believe when you start setting boundaries, you're definitely going to lose some people, okay? You're going to lose some family members. You're going to lose some friends, maybe even some lovers, because anybody who benefits from your lack of boundaries, they're going to resist them. They're not going to like that you put boundaries in place, okay? They're going to be like, hell, who do you think you are? No, because I was using and abusing you, and now you went and got some boundaries? Oh, hell no, this ain't going to work for me. So I don't want you to feel discouraged. Go ahead and tell them, bye, baby. See you later. And continue to pour into yourself and to the people who actually value you. The 5th core value for me would be mutual growth. I used to always feel like, why am I outgrowing everybody so fast? I'm outgrowing relationships, I'm outgrowing friendships. But once I did the inner work and I really started attracting healthy, high value people, it's like I no longer felt like I was outgrowing people. They were growing with me, okay? If you feel like you're always growing and other people are stuck, I'm sorry, but that is not a relationship to hold on to. That is not a bond and a connection that's going to help you to where you're going. And trust me, you cannot drag somebody into growth. I have tried. I have lost so many friends because I wanted growth for them more than they wanted to. I wanted better for them more than they wanted to. And it used to hurt me. I have even lost family members over this, okay? One of me and my closest cousins. I mean, like, I'm the only child. So I grew up with this cousin, like we were siblings. And I wanted growth for them so bad. I would try to drag them with me, like, come with me. I found a way, especially when I started to be on my self-development journey and I started my business and I started to really become this better woman. And I just wanted to show everybody the way. And I'm like dragging my friends and my cousin, like Everybody like, but you can't, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay that people are happy exactly where they are, okay? There's some people like me who just want to expand and keep getting better and self-development and just love being self-aware and love growth and knowing more and becoming more. But there are also people that are completely okay with where they are in life. They don't want better, they don't want to become better, and that's it. And even if they do complain all the time and all of that, their life is the way it is because they want it to be that way. Let me tell you, if they're not doing anything to change it, they want it to be that way. So you cannot drag nobody to growth. Oh my God, that was a hard pill to swallow because I wanted everybody to come with me. Like, what? If I found a way, then we all found a way, but not everybody wants to become better. And you can't keep spreading yourself so thin. You can't keep worrying about everybody else's growth, okay? You can't keep trying to water their grass and water yours. You can't keep being a therapist to all your friends. And then every time that you have something exciting to talk about, you don't really want to talk about it because they're talking about what's going on in their life and it's so bad. So you want to keep your mouth shut because you know that they love to vent. They're always venting and you need to be their therapist. Like, no, we're not doing that. And you can't always be the healer girlfriend. Oh my gosh. Cannot believe I'm saying that because me as a healer that's so full of light, I've always felt like for a long time that I only attracted unhealed people because I literally thought my God-given mission was to heal these men. Obviously it wasn't, okay? Like, it definitely wasn't, but I always played that role. So of course, that's what kept showing up in my reality, okay? I kept feeling like I needed to heal, I needed to fix, and I needed to show them the way, show them the light. No, I'm not doing that, okay? I'm not pouring any of that extra energy into other people, okay? I'm keeping majority of my energy for me, and yeah, I'm not letting friends or relationships or family drain me, okay? Like, if we talk on the phone and every time we get off the phone, I am drained, no, that is a problem. That is a problem. I mean, I get it. Sometimes your friends go through stuff, of course, and you be there for them and you support them. And sometimes your friend does just need like a listening ear. I get that. Or even your man, he might just need to just, have you there so he can vent to you. I get it. Totally get it. But if this is happening more often than none, then yeah, that's where it becomes a problem, okay? If you feel like you are always showing up as the healer girlfriend, that's a problem. If you feel like you are always being the therapist, yeah, that's a problem. If you feel like your friends or your lover is always trauma dumping on you or emotionally dumping on you, yeah, that's a problem. Because love shouldn't feel like self-abandonment disguised as patience. Last but not least, core value number 6 is honesty with compassion. Honesty without compassion, honestly, is just cruelty, okay? It's just real cruelty. It's real shady. Even when you're trying to tell your friend something that might hurt a little bit, but you say it without compassion, that just shows that you're trying to say it and have one up on her, okay? Again, that's cruelty. That is literally cruelty and that's shady. But also on the flip hand, compassion without honesty is avoidance. You can have compassion, but you still need to speak your truth, okay? If you're not being honest, but you're trying to be compassionate, now you're avoiding. You're avoiding how you truly feel because you're avoiding conflict. You're avoiding disappointment. You're avoiding something, Miss Girl. Healthy communication for a high-value woman, it looks like telling the truth and being honest, but also with softness. It looks like being clear and having clarity, but also with care. What it really looks like is speaking up before resentment builds, okay? If you don't speak up and be honest about how you feel, but you continue to be compassionate and be avoidant about your true feelings, resentment is going to build whether you like it or not, okay? Avoiding the hard conversations now, whether that's in your romantic relationship or in your friendship, is just gonna have you explode later, okay? If you felt like they disrespected you, if you felt like they overstepped a boundary, if they did something that you didn't like or anything like that, go ahead and have those hard conversations now so you don't explode later on. And honestly, let me tell you from experience, sister girl, having those hard conversations with your friends, they may seem hard and that's why you have anxiety built up around it and you may think, oh my gosh, it might ruin our relationship or something like that. But if it's a true friend, it's actually going to strengthen your connection with your friend and it's going to add so much depth to your relationship. I remember remember me and one of my best friends today, when we first started being friends like 6 or 7 years ago, I feel like it was very much surface level, okay? And after like a year, almost 2 years of having a very surface level friendship, we had some hard conversations. When I mean hard conversation, I mean hard conversations. And then we didn't talk for a couple months. But during those times that, we weren't talking, there was no, talking bad about each other or anything like that, because nothing really bad happened. We just had some hard conversations. And then we talked again. We both were on the same page. We were like, wow, honestly, I think we needed that. I think we needed to have those hard conversations. And now it's been years and our relationship has so much depth to it, because we don't just tell each other what we need to hear. We actually tell each other how we feel. We set boundaries. We talk to each other when we feel like one person has crossed a boundary or just did something that we didn't like, or anything like that, or if they're behaving in a manner that we don't like. I mean, just anything. And having those hard conversations has been such a blessing to our friendship, because now, years later, it has made our connection and our bond so much stronger and closer. And of course, this is the same in romantic relationships, okay? Do not be afraid to have those hard conversations. Know that healthy relationships, they don't avoid discomfort. They navigate through it together. Whew, okay, and those are my 6 core values for healthy relationships. Let's recap. Emotional responsibility. Nobody is responsible for regulating your nervous system but you. Number 2, safety over chemistry, okay? All because something feels exciting and there's sparks doesn't always mean that it's gonna last for a long time. Doesn't always mean that it feels safe. Listen to your body. Number 3, integrity. Doing what you say you're gonna do, following through as a friend, as a girlfriend, as a lover, whatever. Number 4, respect for each other's boundaries. Have boundaries that protect your peace and protect you guys' connection. Number 5 is mutual growth, because we're growing together, okay? I'm not going to be the only one growing and you're down here, or vice versa. You're not going to be growing and I'm way down here. Mutual growth, okay? We're growing up together. And number 6 is honest communication with compassion. Let's communicate. Let's talk about the hard things, but let's do it softly and with care. If your relationships, no matter platonic or romantic, lack these core values, trust and believe, sooner or later, it's going to feel confusing, it's going to feel painful, and it's going to feel heavy. I really hope you babes enjoyed this video, and happy Valentine's Day, my girl. Whether you are in a relationship or if you're single, okay, no matter what, I want you to pour so much love into yourself this month in general, not this day, not this weekend, but the whole month, okay? Make it about loving on yourself a little extra. And if you're on your feminine journey and really want to learn how to rewire your entire nervous system to get out of survival mode and into your soft girl era, check out my Rich and Feminine Energy Master Academy. I'll leave the link to that in the description. Also, to make sure to check out my website, because I have so many amazing, beautiful resources as well. Everything to help you become your best self. I love you, sister girl, and I'll see you in the next one. Remember to stay classy, sassy, and a bit badassy. Bye.